In this video we'll discuss the edit combo control in the version 10 grid component in some more detail. We've looked at it in a previous video, and you can see here we have an edit combo box that's defined for this field bill city, and when I open it up it's displaying cities from all of the different customers in my database. But let's assume that I'd like to dynamically filter this list based on the current value, say in the state field. So let's go back now to design mode and then go to the city field, and you can see here it's defined as a lookup, and the lookup definition is here. And I'm going to go here and choose has dynamic filter, turn that on, and you'll see that there are two interesting options here. The first option here is load data method, which can either be at render time or using an Ajax callback. So if you choose at render time, then all of the data is loaded when the grid is initially rendered, and then the filtering takes place in the browser itself. So it's client-side filtering, which means that it's extremely fast. But of course the data all has to be loaded up front for all of the different conditions that you expect to encounter. So let's go ahead here and define a dynamic filter, and we'll add our dynamic filter, which will be that the bill state region is equal to, and then bill state region over here. So now we've defined a dynamic filter. Let's go ahead and save it, and this is going to be a client-side dynamic filter. So let's go ahead now and do a live preview. And so now when I go to here and drop down the list, you can see I have a much shorter list now of cities in Massachusetts. It'll be more apparent if I go to a state other than Massachusetts. You can see there in Ohio we only had one choice. In New York we have several more choices, etc. So just to make it more obvious, let's go back to the edit combo and add in a second column for display purposes. So let's go back to our definition here, and then let's say that fields to display also include the bill state region. And since now we have two columns, let's choose a display template so that we get a nice layout, and I'll choose multiple columns with headings, and then click OK, and then go back to live preview now. So you can see now it's more obvious that that's coming out of Massachusetts, and now that's Ohio. And let's go to, say, a new record over there and type in California, and then you can see our edit combo has been filtered dynamically on the client. So let's go back to design mode right now, and first let's just, for aesthetic purposes, edit our template, so that instead of displaying bill state region, we just display state in the header and city in the header, which will make it look a little bit better. And now let's change our load data method from at render time to being an Ajax callback, and go ahead and save it, and let's go and run it now. So now when I press the down arrow, you can see the loading button, and there we've made an Ajax callback, and there's the data for Massachusetts. Now let's go, now of course if I go to another record that is Massachusetts and I press the down arrow, it's instantaneous because Alpha 5 knows it already has that list of data, so it doesn't need to do an Ajax callback. Now let's go to, say, here to New York, and then do the down arrow, and you can see the Ajax callback taking place. So this is going to allow you to basically use edit combos against huge data sets, because you're going to filter it at runtime and make Ajax callbacks. So this is a great new feature in edit combo boxes.